fucking using my other camera because it's got this weird kind of glare on it, and I'm like, is it me? Is it the light? Is it the phone? Or is it just who knows? Yeah, it could be. Could be lots of things. Could be me not using my fucking brain.
Do you want me to close the window?
Yeah, actually. Oh, yeah. I'll just stop this. I deferred uni.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with that, which is, I don't remember exactly when I saw you, but it was before I was going down to uni to do the viewing, the filming for the interview, for the thank you for the scholarship. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the breakfast meet or something.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And it went well, everything was fine. Then I went to my ADHD peer support group, which was later that day, and there was obviously a psychologist running that, right? And I explained how I was feeling and where I was at with uni, and just how stressed out and overwhelmed and like I wasn't taking anything in, even though I was just spending hours and hours at my desk. And the psychologist running the group was like, what's happened is your frontal lobe has shut down. You're now running solely on emotions. He's like, you are not taking a single thing in, and like it's clearly affecting me. And I had to leave the group to get home to pick up Boss to get to my tutoring session because I still needed to do the assignment. Even though I had to do 2 weeks, I couldn't do it until there was this part like I was so stuck on. Anyway, I came back and I'm still not in the greatest state, right? Because I had been in the library for like 3 or 4 hours after the filming before the group, and all this time I felt like I would have achieved all this stuff, and it didn't happen. And it was it wasn't that I wasn't trying, but it was as they said, nothing was going in. I must have watched the video and read the instructions half a dozen times. I put questions up on the discussion board and I kept getting told to go back to what I was already using, and I'm like, I'm doing this. I have done the practice. I have followed the seminar over and over again. Like I could do it, but it wasn't working. So by the time I got back to do my tutoring session, and again, you know, my tutor is a coach in ADHD as well, he was like, it was less than 10 minutes, I reckon, into the tutoring session, and he was like, Liv, you need to defer, yeah? And I was like, no, absolutely no way, I cannot do that, just steadfast on finishing at the end of trimester 2. Like I'd already had the census date in my head for so long, and it's the second guessing myself. What is it that I truly feel? What is it that is being second guessed? And I guess deep down I knew I needed to defer, but I just wasn't able to make that decision, yeah? Because I felt like, again, my biggest bullshit in life, I was failing, yeah? You know what I'm like, I fail, and that's how I feel. So when the tutorer was like, Liv, I'm telling you now, as your tutorer, I am genuinely concerned that you will fail this unit. He's like, you need to defer. Obviously, I lost the scholarship. Obviously, it's all gone, you know, and that's fine, well and good and whatnot. Like, bucket list, yes, I was awarded a scholarship, cool. But,
good reframe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's how I'm looking at it. And, like, you know me, I believe everything happens for reasons. So it's, and it was almost like there was a part of me when I was doing the filming thinking about my personal life and what I'm doing, and it was like, I'm obviously ecstatically proud of what I do, right? Now, I'm so past people making me feel like I'm some sort of fucking freak because I film shit and I put it up online, yeah? Like, and there are weird ones out there. I'm not saying everyone does that, but I've also, like I said, been in my head, right? And my tutor, and I kept saying to him, no, I can do this. You just have to tell me how to do this one part that I'm stuck on. And he's like, Liv, I'm telling you now. He goes, I am absolutely flat out tutoring. He goes, I had one other book, which was the day the thing was meant to be submitted. I couldn't get any more. He's like, I literally can't fit you in. And it was him that got me through the last one. Like I paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for tutoring just to get through the last unit, right? And anyway, it came to a head and he was like, please go onto the web, like go onto the cloud, go through it. He's like, there's apparently like there's a certain amount you can intermit and things like that. And I said to him, technically I've had it to do it twice, but the first, like last year was the same thing. I hadn't done the prerequisite. I couldn't do the units. It wasn't exactly my fault. I didn't ask to take it off. But he knew that I was really stuck and I was not in a good place. And I got all the way through what I needed to do to like defer the unit. And he's like, have you done it? And I'm like, no, I'm on the last page. He's like, well, you need to submit this. And I'm just sort of in a state of like a deer in the headlights. Like, okay, I'm on the page. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm still stuck. And I'm just crying my eyes out by this point, just an absolute mess. And he was like, I'm staying on this video call with you until you hit that button. He goes, because I know, and it was census the following day. And he goes, because I know you. You all know what I'm like. He's like, you will try to make yourself do this. And he's like, you have to think about what will happen if you fail. He goes, you know that will devastate you far more than just deferring it to T3, right? And he was right, because I've never once in my entire university career ever once felt like I was going to fail a unit, never. And apparently this unit is the hardest unit in the entire psych degree. Like, it is so hard. And so that's happened. And I spent the first week just miserable. I have been feeling really good up until something happened with work. And I've already spent days and hours crying over it. I've already spent most of this morning just crying my fucking eyes out.
So let me just check one. Okay, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Felt really good after the deferral. Felt like initially some difficult feelings, but then have made some resolution, feel really positive, giving yourself permission to put yourself first, giving yourself permission to put yourself in the best situation to finish your degree. Okay, and then work.
Yeah.
After that. Okay, tell me about that.
So I'm happy with where I'm at uni-wise now, especially since apparently if I've read everything right and I've got people sending me links left, right and centre, as of the 1st of July, I'm going to be a resident. Just, they've changed the rules. So,
okay,
I'll be calling
good
the NDIS immediately.
Yes.
To find out. I mean, I personally think it'd be really weird if they got an application and they just threw it. I'm hoping it's on a file somewhere. I mean, I've obviously got all the stuff to do it again, but I was told the only fucking reason that I didn't get it was because of residency, and the rules have changed.
Yeah.
Not only that, it means I'll be able to get HECS. All of it. I'm focusing on the good. I'm really focusing on everything that is good.
That is good. Okay.
And it's amazing. So, as I've said, I had this friend from uni. She chose the name Mandy. We're going to call her that. And I'd messaged her, like I said, randomly. Are we still friends? I missed her, you know, and we were talking, and that's when she was like, oh my God, I've got this client. You'd be perfect. Now, I told her I didn't want to be a support worker. I told her where I was at mental health-wise. I told her all of this. I was extremely clear from the get-go before I even met the client. If I'm going to go ahead with this, it is not going to be through your company. It's going to be through the company I'm on, the platform I'm on, yeah? I said, I'm not going to be micromanaged. I'm not going to, like, to me, I'm a growing person, and so is the client. Now, the reason I go through the platform is because I'm not going to be micromanaged, okay? So last weekend... So
you're an independent contractor.
I'm an independent
you're
contractor.
Not an employee
I'm
of
not
an
an
agency.
employee,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
And... So anyway, it all went well, and as I've told you, I'm so happy, like over the moon, yeah. And anyway, last weekend it was a Friday, and I was stressing about Boss. His foot was bad. Okay, he's now booked in for surgery on Thursday. He has to have it. We have tried everything we possibly can, and it's now like nothing is working, and it's more than likely a tumour, so we have to get it gone.
So it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. he's walking, but I went back in and they removed most of the fucking nail to see if that would help. But I finally went and saw my friend with the horses, and I knew I was going to be away all day, and I was real freaking out about leaving it because they were like, you can't be licking it, it can't be, oh. Anyway, I tried to wrap it myself, and then I had obviously work on the Saturday. Anyway, but last weekend, right, was when they had originally cut it on the whatever day, Thursday it was, I think, yeah. And they'd had to wrap it because, you know, with dogs' nails can only be cut a certain amount because of what's under it, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, they had to cut almost the whole thing off, yeah? So there was blood going everywhere. They had to wrap it all up. It was this whole thing, yeah? And then I was told it couldn't get wet. And obviously it was fully wet, like it's raining in the mud, and I was wrapping it in whatever I could to try and keep it fine while he was going to pee and things like that. But he's a dog. It got damp, yeah? And on Friday, I was freaking out. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I was just at my wit's end going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, it smells bad. It doesn't look good. I'm supposed to be at work. I'm freaking out. He comes before everyone, you know? And I'd messaged her, Mandy, and I was just like, hey, do you know anything about this? You know, like, as a friend, yeah? And so she calls me up. Now, she is 100% at this point. It's well after 9:30 on a Friday night. She is so drunk and stoned. It's, like, I know her. And I know that she's told me she drinks every single day, and she starts anywhere from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. while working, mind you. And I'm being her friend saying, I'm concerned about you. I'm so concerned. If something happens and they find out that you're doing this on the shift, like, this is bad. Yeah? Anyway, she wouldn't separate the friendship from the work. And I kept saying to her, I'm not going to have the same conversation with you every single day. You are not my boss. You're not my boss. Okay? I was like, I need to only come to you for certain things. And she was bringing work into every single fucking conversation we had, right?
So you said, what do you think's happening with my dog?
Yeah.
And she says.
So, and then I'm talking to her, and at this point, I'm so stressed about Boss. I'm like, I'm going to have to take him to the vet tomorrow. They open at 9. I'm going to be there as they open. Yep. I don't care. I'm just going to message and let them know I'll be late. That was it. I said it in passing, right? Then she's on the phone. I just know she's fucking drunk and stoned. She starts speaking down to me in the most condescending way I've heard in so long. Then she's like, oh, when did you speak to them last? How are they? And I'm like, I spoke to them like an hour or so ago. They're fine. What's the problem? And she's like, oh, and then she's like, I guess it's okay if you do that. And I'm like, excuse me? I was like, I haven't asked your permission. I haven't done anything. I said, this is a phone call that I've called my friend about my dog, and he needs to be at a vet. I don't give a fuck who the hell it was. He was going to be at the vet. And I knew for a fact that my client would be fine. But she's talking down to me like I have to ask her fucking permission, right? She has crossed every single line there actually is. For once in the world, Liv knows what boundaries are, right? So she hung up on me, right? And I sent messages through saying, I really want our friendship to be separate. I said, there has to be boundaries. I was like, you have crossed every line there is. I'm like, it's well after like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, you are very clearly drunk. Like, it's Friday night, who cares if she's drunk? But like, don't be doing this to me. And then she's acting like, she flat out hung up on me. I sent messages saying, moving forward, I will only discuss work during work hours, and the only thing you and I need to discuss is if I need to have extra time or something approved for whatever it is. I said, but on the general day-to-day stuff, I work with my client. I told her from get-go, this is not even a little bit what I'm going to deal with. Otherwise, I'm not fucking doing it. Anyway, I went to see my friend on Friday with the horses, and I was telling her that she's the most amazing family. Like, I am so fucking happy. I was like, please adopt me. I know I'm nearly 38, but seriously. And I was saying to them about what had happened on the Friday night because it was solely in passing.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take him to the vet. That was it, yeah? And I was like, I truly can't get over this, eh? Anyway, she ignored me for an entire week, both professionally and personally, because I messaged her both ways, right? I finally get a text back from her on Friday. I was literally getting in my car, giving my friend a hug goodbye when I saw the message. I was like, no shit, she must have heard it. And there was a message, yeah, on my phone. And it was fine. It was like, I've just sent you this massive email about such and such. I don't expect you to read it now, but I'd really like to have a chat. I've had a lot going on. Can we talk about not work stuff? Can you message, like, call me? And I was like, well, I'm leaving where I'm leaving. And I'll, thankfully, by the time I'd gone past the pharmacist to get my stuff and done everything and I got home, I was too wrecked, and I said I'll postpone it until after work the following day. Mm-hmm. And then I read the email.
Okay. And the email was a professional or personal email?
It was a professional email where she has taken everything in our friendship that is personal, distorted it so completely that it is 100%, not even a little bit what the fuck happened, and then told me I'm disrespectful, I'm not a team player, I don't know how to do this, this, and this. She has actually crossed a line that I don't think I would have ever believed a single person I could have thought my friend could do. She has twisted it all, and you should read this email. I was in tears by the end of it.
Is your client aware?
She don't know what's going on, no, and I obviously won't be that. And I'm focusing on the good, right? So the good is I responded in a professional manner.
Great.
I responded no different than I would respond to anyone else the way she's done it. I've requested that she send me her supervisor's details. Not saying I'm 100% going to do it, but I fucking want them because I'm not kidding. She has taken everything and twisted it and sent it through a company email to make me look like this horrible person. The biggest thing I'm focusing on right now is that I haven't quit out of fucking anger. Because there's a huge part of me that wants to say, fuck you. Every single last bit of trust I had is gone, and I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that.
Great. And it is a good thing because she has nothing to do with your client relationship with you.
That's what I said. And you should see what she's like. And then she's listed like every single fucking thing that she does. And I'm like,
is it going well with your client?
It's amazing.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. I charged for 3 hours. I was there for 4 on Saturday.
So it was totally okay that you were late because you took boss to the vet. And
the thing is though, my client and I have already discussed the fact that shift times could change. Yeah. Because of her stuff and her work and whatever she does. And I said to her, as long as I get an hour's notice, because, that's about how long I try to fuck around and drive there, I was like, I don't care if you message me at 9 o'clock in the morning and are like, can you start at 11 or 12? I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, I put my Saturday away for them. And that's good because I love what I'm doing. Like, I swear to God, they tell me, it's time for you to finish. I was like, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I've got an hour left. They're like, no, you've been here for 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, unless you want me to go. And then we just kept hanging out. I was with her for like 4 hours. And then I just feel so...
So you feel like your friend has compromised your friendship.
Oh, she's destroyed it. Is what she's done.
Your personal information from personal knowledge of you, and migrated that into your professional world.
Absolutely, she had no right.
Is she making inappropriate accusations?
Yes.
Is she? Okay.
I responded to everything she said,
and
I quoted her part and replied back to each of the points. Mind you, I backed the fucking shit up of everything. Yeah, because of who I am and how I am. It's like. You know what pisses me off the most, right? I talk about the fact that I don't lie, right? Because I fucking discovered counterism and I don't, and I'm a philosopher. She tells, like, every other sentence of this woman's mouth is, I don't lie, I don't lie, I don't lie. And the whole time I'm thinking, that's just you trying to make yourself feel better because you do, right? Like, fucking my doctor has, I've got fucking ulcers, stomach full of ulcers, polyps on my bowel. Doc is absolutely not sure what the fuck is going on. She's so stressed out, she's sending me to a breast mammogram. And I'm told to tell them I have lumpy boobs. And I'm like, well, technically she isn't checked, so that's going to be fun because I still won't lie. So I'm just going to be like, Doc sent me here. This is what she said. That's the form. Can you just do it?
Okay.
There's a lot of information. I'm aware.
So, okay. So you responded to her email, you asked for her supervisor's information, and...
Nothing. I haven't heard back since.
When was that?
I responded on the Saturday after work.
So it's been a Saturday, like just a couple of
2
days
ago.
Yeah.
I put obviously my invoice in after the fact. So after I'd responded and everything, I then didn't pull the notes in.
She's the support coordinator, not the plan manager, right?
She's the coordinator, yeah.
Okay, so you'll be paid anyway.
Oh, no, I know. It's already been approved. She approved it last night. But the point is, like...
Okay.
I've already been through enough with this kind of job.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through it again.
That's right. Do you feel that this woman is acting unethically?
Well, the fact that she's drinking all day, every day at work is unethical.
Absolutely.
Even I said that.
Absolutely.
I was so concerned. I was like, I know you work from home, but this isn't good.
What do you need to do to act ethically and appropriately and protect the well-being of clients, vulnerable clients, on the NDIS?
Technically, the way you just said it, I've got to I hadn't decided if I was going to do that or not. She will lose her job.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So
she's already been called up, actually. I've already been told she's
I know it's really awful to say I don't care, but at the same time...
No, I get you. It's the same thing.
You have really vulnerable, really unwell clients who are on NDIS because they don't have the capacity or the choices or the ability to navigate really complicated situations. And we're putting their lives and their trust and their treatment and their all sorts, well, treatment's a bad word for NDIS, their support in the hands of someone who's shit-faced at work. No, it's a massive, massive professional boundary breach. And it places clients in danger. It places workers in danger. This is a nightmare every which way. If you have knowledge of this, you have to report. It's really, really
She's
necessary.
tried to go back on it and say, oh no, that was only when it was, really bad. It has not all the time. It's usually
then
3 o'clock
she can be investigated. It's not for you to decide if she loses her job. It's not you to decide if
NDIS
if that
happens, she's just going to try and flip it on me. And all I've done is from day dot said, I don't want to do this job. I will do it based on this. Like, I'm a contractor. I've got to pay my own taxes, my own super, my own fucking everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm clearly very angry.
I see. And at the end of the day, she can try to deflect whatever she wants. And if it means that there's investigations into everyone involved with this client's care, if it means that clients are safer as a result of that,
I think she's good at her job, though. That's the thing. I do think she's good at her job. It's just...
Or she's been lucky.
I know she's been called up about it before with someone else, so... I don't know. It's funny because I've just realised when I've said that I'm angry. So I made a video last night and I have been really sad about it all. But it's when I'm relaying it that I become angry. And I actually realised writing my description last night, hold on, I'm going to be interested to see what you say about it, because when I'm alone at home, I'm just full of sadness that this has happened because she was my friend. I'm devastated. And yet this anger is probably because it's just easier for me to deal with anger, isn't it?
Yes.
Anger's my default, and that's why.
It's the easier emotion. It's the less vulnerable one. When you're with other people and you're relaying a story, then it's about how you present it and you're angry and, frustrated and this isn't fair and fuck this shit and all that stuff. But when you're home alone talking to a camera, the truth comes out. So I think in this instance, I'm going to just go back to this one thing. Liv, you have got to protect the well-being of vulnerable people always. And if it means that she flips whatever or tries to say whatever, welcome the investigation. You're doing nothing wrong.
I know that.
So be confident to say, okay. And if it means that she needs to make changes, that's what it means. If it means she loses her employment, that's what it means. If it means she practices with conditions, that's what it means. But those are not for you to decide. All you're saying is, I have a concern. It's not about anger. It's not about retribution. It's not about revenge. This is about client well-being and safety. If she's having access, contact with clients when she's intoxicated, that is a breach of the guidelines of the NDIS.
Oh, I know.
And
we've been through this nightmare with guidelines. Yeah. I'm well aware.
Yeah. Now, secondly, the emotional stuff. Okay, yes, it's a vulnerability. And I'm sad that your friend has breached your trust and taken advantage of situations, and perhaps not even intentionally. Maybe the alcohol had a lot to do with it. But you're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to be sad. And it's not fair. But it doesn't change it.
I know that. And you're right. I mean, like I said, I know I've got a good life. And I'm really doing what I can to focus on that. It's just, I feel like I become so triggered and upset, and I just feel like I'm going to be this miserable old bat for fucking ever.
You're going to have emotions forever, that's true. Yes. But miserable old bat's probably not it.
I hope not.
But you have a situation where typically when you're emotionally dysregulated, your anger takes advantage of the situation and it explodes, and it's like, okay, and you're screw this, screw that, and you cut your nose off to spite your face, and you get angry at the situation and you push it all away, and then the result of it is often that you've kind of missed out on the things that work for you.
Yep.
Like, the job that you love and the money, which is, I'm hoping, great, and things like that, right?
That's what I said.
But that's not what's happening this time. This time, not only have you not reacted to the emotional anger, but you're also not tipping over the edge with negative emotions because of your sadness.
Thank you. Like,
you're still getting up and going. You're still doing the equestrian stuff. You're still going to live your life. You're still going to your client's house. You're still doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, the things I'm focusing on is that I didn't message her at all. I haven't contacted, either the client or the friend.
Either.
I haven't contacted either.
Let's think about circa a couple of years ago, what would have happened? You would have checked with the client. Has this person said anything? What's happening? And then you'd blurt out the whole story, and then the client would have to make a choice because one of you would have made that decision because everybody's emotionally dysregulated by that stage, and it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Not what happened.
No.
So what happened is you said, that's not cool. And then you stopped. You read the email. You had your emotions to yourself and to your camera. And then you replied professionally. Stop, hold, think about what you want to say, speak. Perfect.
Thank you. Though it did show just how fucked up I am with this whole dyslexia thing, because reading it back was not cool. But I was like, what? That's not exactly my fault. Just one thing at a time. But yeah, it's interesting though, because I do, like today, like I've been sleeping a lot and early, and I guess there's a lot going on because, I have to see a cardiologist, my fucking...
What is with your, what lumpy boobs? What?
I don't even know
if your boobs.
I don't know if there is. It's just the fact that I now have so many things going wrong that Doc doesn't understand why. She's now just testing for everything. And she's like...
I don't think mammograms are fun.
She's like, technically I'm not allowed to send to you for one unless there's a reason.
There's, I'm sure, a reason.
Yeah, I've got all the paperwork, lumpy tissue or something. Either way.
Okay, why the cardiologist?
My blood pressure and my pulse are really high.
Low, high. I thought they were really low.
Really high. And the ECG says there's not enough blood getting to my heart. My father sent me the email. Every one of them has got heart attacks and strokes. He was 48. The youngest someone died was 59.
Do you faint?
I have collapsed a few times, yeah.
Do you have migraines?
Yeah,
or vision?
lightheaded, yeah. Yeah, it's real fun.
Are you on hypertension medicines?
They've put me on new medicine to get the acid in my stomach down, but no, not anything for my heart as yet. But I have an appointment for the 23rd of May. It's the fastest they could get me in. But there's so much affecting me.
And the ulcers, are you just getting reflux, or are they bleeding ulcers? Not just, I know it's intense, but yeah.
No, there's a few of them, and apparently, according to Doc, they are so rare. She honestly doesn't understand how this has happened. And she's like, it is so bad and so rare. She's like, basically, the amount of acid you've got is burning holes in you now. And I'm just like, awesome. But yeah, that explains the reflux. And she's like, you need to be on medication, like everyday medication for this. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on the biopsies from the surgery to come back. And I'm just trying to be kinder to myself. Obviously, I did defer, but on the Friday when I saw my friend, I took all my stuff up, because normally if I've started a unit and I defer, I download the stuff so I can practice before I get there, right? And obviously that didn't happen. So my friend was amazing, and she went through and downloaded a lot of it and transferred it all onto my hard drive. Mm-hmm. So now I can at least start figuring it out again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you could take a break.
I mean, yeah, I am trying to. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, you're right. Like, I'm still trying to get on with stuff, but it makes me sad. Like this morning, I just felt like, and I know it's emotional. We all human. We have emotions and whatnot. But sometimes I do feel like I'm really good, and then I'm not, and then I'm just like,
and that's okay. You set yourself these super high expectations. And sometimes I wonder if we just made some space for it to be just not okay sometimes. Like, you've had biopsies and surgeries and getting a mammogram and you're in your 30s. Like, it's okay for that to be really shit and really scary and really hard. That's all right. What if we just make space for that and we don't fight it and we just say, okay?
It's interesting you say that, I think, because I think I was having like a day where I just wanted to do nothing and just chill, read, or watch Netflix, and I was like, I don't make time for this. It's either I allow it only on a day because I literally can't do anything else, because the day before I'm screwed. For example, like Sunday, I just slept all day yesterday.
What about a prophylactic regular occurrence where you give yourself a day off? We've talked about that.
Yeah.
What if we say, there's this thing, when you work, and you work 50-hour weeks, and then your job, in theory, I mean, when you don't work like me, give you this magical thing called annual leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so other people have holidays, and what they do is they book them, and they book them in advance, and sometimes during those school holidays, sometimes school, they give you holidays.
Yes,
That's the thing. And sometimes what people do with that is they book really nice things for themselves. They book a massage, or they'll book a trip to wherever. Yeah, okay. So, but when you don't ever do that,
I know.
What happens? You burn out.
Yeah. You cry.
School holidays, they get seems like forever off a year. Like 13, 14 weeks off a year, because they recognize that children's brains need a break.
Yes, I get that.
They don't recognize that the parents' brains need a break. That's not the point.
No, I get that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just really focusing on the good, which is that I haven't done anything bad or crazy or anything.
I think there's a lot more good than I haven't done anything bad.
I hope so.
I think you need to just really think about that sentence just for a second. there's a lot more that you're doing that's good than just not doing things that are bad.
Yeah, true. Like, I did say to my friend, I was like, my therapist is going to be so happy I'm here. Like, we went out and saw the horses, and they've got 4, and they've like organising so I can, start riding with them. And she's like half an hour away from me. It's awesome. I know, right? Like,
where can there be horses? You live in the city.
I know. And it's like, they've got, like I said, they've got 4. The family's amazing. Like, just had an absolute ball.
Great. So there's that you've done, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
There's taking a day off and watching TV sometimes, which is good. I'm not saying sitting on the couch and doing nothing is good all the time, but in aspects of it is totally great.
Yeah.
There's deferral, which is good. It's about you saying this isn't the right time and space for me. There's making an appointment with your GP or booking the mammogram and doing those things, which is really hard. People avoid that shit for years.
I know. Yeah, no.
There's really a lot of good. Even addressing the stuff with boss. There's different emotions that happen with that, but a lot of it is good.
Yeah.
It's to prevent his issues, to support his situation, to hopefully I can't even do it. Prevent his pain.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Exactly.
So we're doing a lot more than just not reacting negatively.
I never remember that, I think.
And the professional email back, despite the dyslexia, which I'm going to let go, is a good that you've acted. It's not just that you didn't act, it's that you did act appropriately.
Yeah. Like I said, in that instant, every part of me wanted to say, F off. I am not doing this. No amount of money is worth that, but you're right, I don't have to deal with her. And I was clear from the get-go.
Your client has choice and control. If your client chooses to engage your services, then you continue to invoice with your plan management with no issues. I work with clients with NDIS sometimes, and I don't have a great deal of contact with their support coordinators unless I need something
That's
different.
what I said. And
I don't talk to them. I'm like, I'll be like, hey, does this plan have funding for art therapy? ? If it does, then I'll say to the client, hey, I feel like you should do art therapy. I'm not going to promise them art therapy unless they have it.
Yeah.
I don't do art therapy.
But
I know people who do. Right? But otherwise, they send me an email saying, hi, here's the funding for what you do. And I go, cool. Thanks.
That's exactly it. That's what I said from the start. That's
if
why
a
I
support
said
coordinator
that.
tried to tell me as a professional, these are the things that I feel like you should be doing, then I will say, cool, thanks for your input.
Yeah,
and do what I want to do anyway.
She literally said, as a support worker, as a support coordinator, she needs to know everyone's business, and that makes me not a team player, and it makes me disrespectful.
Well, she mustn't work with anyone here.
Yeah.
Because we will send a letter when there's a review date, and sometimes we'll professionally, politely respond to an email, but not often, because they trust us to do our jobs appropriately, and we trust them to do their jobs appropriately. Sometimes intermittently we discuss whether it's the well-being of the client, but that's all.
I know. I hear you. And
so there's a lot more you're doing that are appropriate, and you're keeping the bigger picture in play. You're considering yourself, you're considering your future, you're considering your health, you're considering your mental health, you're considering your client's needs, you're balancing your dog's needs, you're balancing your need for friendships, you're balancing a whole bunch of things.
That's why I like therapy.
And yet, you know that, because you started the session with, I will be so proud.
Yes, I know, you're right. I get stuck in my head, what can I say, when I'm by myself, when I'm around other people, I'm not in my head ever, But
it's hard because you live on your own live.
Yeah, and I think people, like, when I say I spend a lot of time in isolation, like, it's not that I don't like my own company.
I know.
I like my own company. It's just, there's, a limit. And it's not like I want to be around people all the time either, don't get me wrong.
healthy sense of what relationship should look like.
Yeah, I know.
What that says is that maybe you're ready to consider a future relationship.
It's funny you say that. You're talking romantic, aren't you?
Not necessarily, but yes, also.
Yeah. Where do you meet people these days? Because sure as shit ain't going online.
Romantically or friendlyly?
Either way. Like, I mean,
Well,
the only
like,
place
I'm
I
gonna
meet
be-
people
I'm
is
gonna-
uni.
I'm going to be real. A lot of people do meet friends and otherwise online because that is the world in which we live now. The world's changed quite a bit.
I'm banned on Tinder. Yeah?
How do you get banned on Tinder?
That's what I get asked. How do you get banned on Tinder, Liz?
What did you...
I don't know. Nobody believes me. If I was to try and log into Tinder right now,
I'm
it
sure-
says
I believe
you
you.
are banned. Literally, just big sign that comes up saying you are banned.
Do you know the only way to get banned from Tinder is somebody has gone onto your profile and accused you under your
Probably.
profile of inappropriate actions and they've banned you without even asking you?
Yeah, I got no idea what's happened or what I could have possibly done, but
I think that's the only way.
I do find it quite hilarious, if I'm honest, you know. But, I've gone through this whole process with dating sites. There are not on. No. Universe has taught me not to do that. I have lots of lessons. Being banned on Tinder is just one.
It's just one. Not Twitter, Tinder.
Tinder.
Okay, because you can get banned from both.
Tinder, the swipey one, yeah? Yeah. No,
the dating app.
I'm banned on the dating app.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Also, that's okay because you like that. That's
it is funny, right? I mean, it's
only
hilarious.
funny if it's not warranted. Because if it was warranted, that
I don't know
be
what
funny.
I could have done.
It's usually somebody's accused you of inappropriate sexual action. Like it's usually someone has made an accusation of like inappropriate commentaries.
I think I was on it for like half an hour, got bored, disconnected it, went back on and was banned. I got no clue. But it's all good.
I think some of the men that I've known over the years have said things like they've been banned for sending dick pics or going on dates and being a bit too pressuring, things like that. But I am unaware. I have not read their terms and conditions.
All I know is no one believes me that I don't know why, which I find even more funny, because I don't.
Well, there's other options apart from Tinder, but it's not about even online dating programs.
I know what you're saying.
Apps. You can do lots of things, but at the end of the day, the truth is that most people meet online because we all live in a society where, to be honest with you, since COVID's happened, there's an active discouragement of proactive meetings. The meet cutes aren't really a thing anymore because if somebody random comes up to you, like remember circa the 1990s, somebody would say, just talk to the person sitting next to you on the train. I'd be like,
I do that now. I talk to literally every single fucking person I meet.
Yeah, but a lot of the time though, when people, particularly of the opposite gender or same-sex attracted or whatever, but people, like if somebody random, some guy came up to you on the train and sat down next to you and just inappropriately started talking to you, there are a huge number of bricks that people have to take down from the walls of the other person in order for them to get through it all.
Is it lucky or not lucky for me? I don't have any of those bricks then.
It could go either way. Because it means that people are more likely to get through, but also that you're at a vulnerability.
Interesting.
People put up brick walls to prevent them from danger, to prevent them from emotional harm, to prevent them from physical harm. If somebody sits next to you and you're uncomfortable, you can move. If somebody talks to you, you can put your headphones in. If somebody does this or coughs at you, COVID, thanks so much, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID, it was don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't come near me, don't even breathe in my general direction.
I get that. I know that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It didn't help. Didn't help people's capacity to really connect with other human beings who they don't know.
True.
There was a discouragement of us connecting with people that we know and love. Appropriate discouragement from a health perspective, but significantly damaging from a mental health perspective.
I would just like to have friends who want to stay my friends and not disappear. The idea of an actual relationship means like I don't think I've got walls up.
Talk about your friends. Why are your friends failing?
It's mostly me, I know that much, in the sense of there are just some things that I find so important that if I know people who just couldn't give a fuck, for example, don't give a fuck about the next person, it makes it harder.
Okay, so let's talk about your values. You can have 3 or 4 buzzwords that are important in friendships. What are they?
You never lie.
So
Like honesty. That's really the top one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, treating people the right way. I mean, like, use Graham as the example. Like, for example, I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, anyone in that case who's just, you know, for a means to an end, not caring about what could happen down the track. And when it comes to other stuff, it's like, I don't know, I know I'm friends, like, I talk to everyone. I can be friends with anyone, but, like, once I know they've lied to me, it makes it hard.
But you can't be friends with everyone.
No, but
so you can only really be friends with people who are honest, and you can only really be friends with people who reciprocate, because you're saying the back and forth is necessary.
Yes.
The effort back and forth.
Being able to actually see someone.
So the supportiveness.
Yeah. Like, only online doesn't help me, I don't find. Like, obviously I lost that friend that way. And it's not exactly like I lose them. It's me, I do it. But
partly it's about, you know, you can't be friends with everyone. Now, Liv, you can talk to anybody, and you are nice to everybody, and you can establish connection with people. The difference being that you need to potentially look at being a little bit more selective with who you give that connection to, because we need to make sure that there's the basic 2 or 3 buzzwords, the values that are necessary in relationships for you have to be mirrored in the other person, whether we're talking friendships, relationships, or otherwise.
The problem is everybody says they're honest, and almost everybody fucking lies. And to me, if you can tell me a little lie, you can tell me a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I know I've been lied to,
mm-hmm.
regardless of what the fucking lie is, the trust goes.
Is there something to be said for the intention behind the lie?
No. Hell fucking no. No, fucking no. A lie is a fucking lie. And the intentions behind a lie can fuck right off. This is what makes the world fucked up. Oh my God. Don't you ever lie to me. I swear, it would fuck us right up.
I'm sure.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's half my problem, because I'm so trusting. I'm so fucking sick of lies.
But inappropriately trusting, do you think? Like, do you think that you give trust too soon?
I give trust immediately. And that's not something I can change, because it's who I am. I'm not going to make people gain my trust.
Earn the trust.
Yeah, whatever the fuck, mate. No, because I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Give them the trust face value.
Yes. And I'm upfront about it.
Mm-hmm.
This whole making people earn my trust thing. No, I'm good.
The trust is not the thing that we need to withhold. Maybe it's the level of connection.
What do you mean?
So, you know, when people talk about earning trust, maybe it's not the right sentence for you. Maybe it's about earning the connection. Because with you, they get trust at face value.
Yeah.
It's like poker.
They don't get at all like every other asshole before them. They're not compared to them. As far as I'm concerned, a brand new person in my life is someone I'm going to trust. Yeah. Until given a reason otherwise.
Yeah. You're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, face value what you've got.
Mm-hmm.
And as our connection with them grows, so does the amount of, I don't want to say the amount of trust. So does the,
I get what you're saying.
So does the vulnerability of loss.
Yeah.
For you. You do go all in pretty quick with your connection.
Yes, I know, but like I said, it's a part of who I am. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how to meet someone and look at them and just assume that they're not going to be someone I can trust. I don't know how people do this.
I think it's nice that you assume that people are someone you can trust in spite of the things that you've experienced in the past.
Exactly. In spite of.
Yes.
And I still do it. because it's who I am.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that it doesn't work that way then?
Because we live in a backwards ass world that I'm hoping we all get fucking taken out with, honestly. But I don't know. What do you want me to say? People are all out for themselves. That's really what it comes down to. Humans can justify and do whatever the fuck they want. And it's our ability to justify and compartmentalise that makes us the fucking worst animal on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, obviously.
Certainly the most cunning.
Just unbelievable. I just, like I do, I feel flat. Like, I've got so much shit I need to do, and I'm just in a mood. And again, it's like I've got so much good in my life.
Okay.
And I almost feel selfish or like I'm focusing on the good and I'm being grateful and I'm all this stuff, but I still feel shit. But what are you going to do? I am going to take your advice though and at least allow myself to have a bit of a break before.
Perhaps what we need to do is see the dichotomy in all things. It can be good and hard. It can be black and white.
True.
Maybe it's both. People can be trustworthy and lie.
What the fucking world do you live in? Did you literally just say someone can be trustworthy and can lie? They're the two most craziest opposites I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I have come across a great number of people in my life who are a series of dichotomies. And I don't have the answer.
Yeah, true. That's the thing though, you never know if someone's actually telling the truth anymore.
You got to look at it on face value. But the thing is, even with, say for example, affairs. Mm-hmm. Affairs are a really classic example. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta just go with face value that people are going to tell you the truth. But here's the thing. Sometimes they are and sometimes they're not and you can't change it.
I know.
So you live with it. So people globally are trustworthy. We can agree that people, well, mostly, we give them our trust. We give, we go in face value. You're saying, okay, I trust you. And people lie. So it's both. They're trustworthy and people lie.
Yeah, I know. This is what it is.
It's both. And it's hard.
I'm just going to try and
people
not
are
take
what they
everything
are.
personally.
People are what they are.
Mm.
And sometimes, I'm not saying with regards to every situation, but sometimes people are worth another shot.
Oh, I don't hold grudges. If someone wants to come back and try to fucking make up the fact that they've broken their trust, I always give them that chance.
That's right. And sometimes when you have contributed negatively to relationships ending, you're also worth another shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Worthiness.
I know. That's what I'm reminding myself.
Yeah.
I think we're out of time, are we?
Yeah. I like your cardigan.
Thank you.